I served on the space station of Mimas as a liaison for the Earth Embassy, working with many alien races.
Jean-Charles Moyen, Franco-American SSP, aboard the Solaris spaceship, a part of the Solar Warden. My mission, protection and rescue slaves on other planets.
Rebecca Rose, Psychic Super Soldier, Moon, Mars, Kuiper Belt, and beyond.
Namaste. I'm Yana Prakash. I am a multidimensional healer, work directly with the Andromeda Council, and infinite creations through the oneness with all that it is.
We know if you won't tell them the truth, we will. Hi, I'm James Rink, founder of the Super Soldier Talk podcast, Healing Soul Survivors 501c3, and now the Super Soldier Activation Conference. Since 2010, I have dedicated myself to documenting the untold stories of the secret space program. I have brought awareness of milabs, also known as military abductions, MK Ultra, Monarch, and Montauk programming. Join us for the 2025 Super Soldier Activation Conference in Orlando, Florida, from October 8th to the 12th. Experience 4 days of groundbreaking discussions with over 25 courageous secret space program speakers. Choose from general admission, VIP Silver, or VIP Gold tickets to tailor your journey into hidden truths. Don't miss this life-changing event. Secure your spot now at supersoldiercon.com. Hello, everybody. Sorry about that extra link that we had to create. For some reason, the AI did not want to initiate Rick onto this show, so we had to create a second link here. But Rick, thank you for coming on here today, all the way from LA, the city of angels. How are you doing?
Great, James, and good to be on.
Absolutely, thank you. And I just want to say thank you, audience members, for joining us. And also, today we're going to learn a little bit more about Rick's movie career, because in 2013 he got into alternate movie industry, and he uploaded his first reptilian shapeshifter video, and that's maybe why he got so targeted, right? So he had 7 helicopters flying over his apartment, and you could hear all these buzzing sounds. Police and unmarked vehicles have been following him around. So Bruce, tell us, what's going on with you?
Okay, so just briefly about me is that I did get into the alternative movie making business when I inadvertently discovered that the whole crazy sounding reptilian shapeshifter subject was actually based on something real and not a bunch of kooks, because I did a video investigation of some movies that people made about it. And then I put together my own little amateur silent 15-minute study of a break apart of the movie The Matrix starring Keanu Reeves. And at that time, it looked like a drug bust above my place. And I didn't realize right away that it had to do with something that I actually uploaded to social media. But in fact, that was the case. And I had unmarked black SUVs and police squad cars also following me on the street. And incidentally, it's important to mention that I have 0 criminal record whatsoever, and no questionable affiliates like mob ties or anything. And not only that, but that was the only thing that I had uploaded as far as videos, except for one text study, a theological study that I had uploaded a long time ago. So all of this activity had to be and only was about these so-called reptilian shapeshifter movies, which, that was, at first I thought it was nonsense until I broke it apart. And what I narrowed it down to was just the features that you could clearly see are paranormal, nothing like a glitch or a blurry spot or something like that. I mean, I'm talking claws, fangs, tiles, slit eyes, etc. And when I uploaded that study, apparently it made a big deal, because I couldn't even believe it. It took me literally 60 days from the time that it happened to be to even believe this was going on. I mean, I had 4 police show up at my door. Again, I have no criminal record whatsoever. And they gave me some phony story about looking for a previous tenant that had been gone for 8 months. Yeah, right. And, when I said my name, I said, I'm Richard Bruce. They go, "You're Richard Bruce?" And yeah. And so And from then on, I was a targeted, gang stalked, organized stalking, mostly air stalking victim, although I did get directed energy weapons sometimes. But I did not let it stop me. I continued to upload these reptilian shapeshifter studies, breaking apart video, and eventually I learned how to even see some of this on myself. It breaks apart into two main categories: physical shapeshifting and what I call demonic distortion, or spirit beings that actually live in us that show up on camera, of which I have plenty of examples of at my channel. And I don't upload anything that where you really can't clearly see that it's paranormal, not just some fuzzy glitch that you can't see anything. So and so that's what I continue to do, and they continue to gang stalk me. Like I said, I got the 2 a.m. wake up call last night. It was pretty gnarly, looking up at the sky. I'm like filming the helicopter. Okay, we're getting a stalk. It's 2 a.m. I like to report as I do it. But the honest fact is that my channel probably wouldn't have had half the interest that it has gotten if I didn't have this dramatic helicopter footage that I could show. So it's kind of a double-edged sword, but that's what happened, and I didn't let it stop me. I kept on going.
Wow. Could you tell us a little bit about gang stalking? So, what, in your own words, how would you define that?
Okay, gang stalking, I believe, is a government-run program, government-funded. It's very well funded, and they have everything that, I mean, more than what most people could even believe that they have for resources. Not only do they have helicopters to time buzz me whenever I would leave my house, whenever I would come home to my house, whenever I would enter into an establishment, but basically, if they can't kill you, of which I do also say that I had 3 assassination attempts against me. In 2 of those assassination attempts, the assassins themselves met with death, whereby they knew that they could not get me that way. So, and I think also a lot of people are assets. For instance, the Scarlet Witch, as I may have mentioned to you at one point, is a split personality, and they do also target her home altar, but they can't kill her. So what they do is they psychological warfare torture is what basically gang stalking is, to minimize their enemies, their opponents, people who reveal things that they don't want revealed, people that they want to minimize, and especially they do everything that they can in the books: financial minimization, social minimizing, everything that you can imagine, to basically tamp down a potential threat, is my assessment of what gang stalking is.
Wow, thank you. Someone in the chat asked, what is the name of your YouTube channel?
Richard Bruce. And my website is freeourworld.org. Freeourworld.org. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, great. Awesome. Let's go here. And next question. So tell us, what do you think is going on with the shapeshifting? Do you think these people know that they are reptilian hybrids or full-blooded reptilians? Maybe they don't even know, because somebody handed me at school, they handed me my test, and their eyes turned into a slit. I was like, oh, okay. I didn't say anything, but they may not even be aware of it. What do you think?
Yeah, that was one of the initial thoughts that I had about this. And of course, there's less that we know, or I'll say for myself, there's less that I know than what. So really, we know very little, but I'll break it down into 2 main things. We have physical shape-shifting, and then what I think a lot of people see, even with their naked eye, but it shows up best on camera because you can actually prove it and repeat it and test it and everything. But what happens is people, what I call demonic distortion. So sometimes when you see people's eyes shift, it may actually be your own perception of a momentary indwelling of, get this is what's really hard to wrap your head around. This is when I first saw these forms on other people, okay, like Keanu Reeves and Harrison Ford. You see that row of 8 horns on Harrison Ford's face, and the big claw, my famous movie, Keanu's Claw. When you see that, you can see light and shadow, and I was positive that this is a physical shapeshift. However, and it may be, but when I saw some similar things, not as dramatic as a lot of shapeshifts that I've got captures, but when I saw similar things on myself, even that row of 4 horns, in which it was very distinct, no question about it. And it took me a while when I first thought about, wait a minute, this is some kind of glitch. I'm too alert. I would have noticed, if I had missing time or something, or I kind of glitched and started shapeshifting. That wasn't what was happening. What's happening is, it turns out, Romans 7:18 covers this. Okay, we all have these spirits living in us. Okay, because Paul says, "For I know that in me, that is in my flesh, dwelleth no good thing." Dwelleth, not just is, dwelleth. So dwells no good thing. For to sin is ready with me. In other words, I'm ready to go, man. When sin, I'm ready to go. But how to do good, I don't know. I'm lost. I don't know how to do good. So what he was saying was that all of us have these spirits living in us. You say you have to overcome your demons. Well, this is actually the reality. You can catch this on video. And this is so cool. This is so exciting. This is paranormal footage that anybody can get. It's actually not that hard. I did find it works better on certain camcorders that have a lot of contrast. You do it indoors, but you can test it on yourself. It is gnarly to behold. And I don't understand, I guess, because most people are just so freaked out by it that they don't want to try and see. But so this seeing of everyone's demonic distortion, which if you want, next time we're at a conference, I'll do one for you. You could see it's quite interesting. But I don't want to speak for other people who may not have reptilians living in them, but I can tell you that I do myself, because you can see these big slit eyes, no BS. He's clear as day. It's black triangle in certain conditions. Okay, low light, when there's low photonic activity between the lens and the subject, so slightly dark and with a little bit of contrast, and you can totally see it, and it only shows up generally for a single frame. Now, this should not be confused with what all the witnesses are talking about, where you see them coming to the rituals with the robes, right? Because they don't want to tear their clothes when they transform into their true reptilian form. 7 or 8 foot tall, man-eating, crap your pants as soon as you see it reptilians. Okay.
And also, like, they would have a belt where they could change the holographic belt to change their appearance, and they could grow
Yeah,
taller.
I think there's a lot of that. I think by the way, I had a friend, a good close personal friend, who actually turned out had the ability to shapeshift. She shapeshifted into an older man. She shapeshifted into her girlfriend. And it's wild stuff. I got pictures too, and video, not of the shapeshift, but of her in her different forms, and also the people that she was able to create. I remember I told you about this when you were on vacation there. I was telling you about she created a person out of the mud of her garden in Bangkok. So she had a couple of houses in Bangkok, and she actually put some mud into her bathtub, and she actually made a doll which she could leave her birth body and get into that and walk around and do stuff. It was wild.
Yeah, that's part of the ancient Jewish tradition of creating a golem type creature out of clay. So,
And she was Jewish. and
oh
and
wow,
and
okay, interesting.
and
So,
and she had an invisible sword that she could cut off people's hands. I have the photos, police photos of the hands that she cut off. These two gentlemen who she had warned in advance to not kill a little girl as a test of her powers, because that's what they did when they found out about her powers. They went to the monastery in Thailand where she was staying. She had been blinded by an attack from Lucifer and 2 big demons and left for dead by a river. And then when the authorities, that is the royal authorities, and by the way, all these priests and people in these higher spiritual positions, they can totally sense when somebody interesting comes along. And they sent this whole convoy out to the monastery where she was recovering from that attack. And then they brought her to the palace, and they wanted to test her powers. And they had an animal, a little girl, they had a bird, a cat, and a little girl, and they killed them, to test her powers, but she warned them in advance to not kill the little girl, but they did. And then she told her lawyer friend to get out of the room, and then she cut off a hand from each of those men, and then she brought the little girl back to life. I have it all documented with pictures and everything.
Oh wow! So what do you mean by she? I know. What does she have a weapon on her, or does she use psychic powers to cut the?
So basically, my understanding is that she's an angel of some kind, and what happened was she had imprisoned another angel in her body. Okay, the angel of destruction, Azrael, and she was using his sword. It was in the spirit, but apparently it works in our dimension because I've got the pictures of the hands that she cut off these guys, and it's totally bloody. And by the way, in case you didn't know, by the way, she's a little blonde Jewish girl, comes up to here on me, but she managed to cut off two men's hands without even a grown man that's very strong with an axe would still have trouble holding it against a table or something to do that. But these guys are not going to cooperate and put their hand on a table or something. But she managed to cut their hands off, and I knew the policeman very well. I got to be friends with him, the police captain who took the photos of the hands, and I've got it on record, on photos too.
Well, how did you know this lady?
Okay, she found my channel on YouTube and she contacted me because she was a gang stalking victim. So we were talking about gang stalking. She got it very bad with burning and all kinds of stuff, people following her on foot. I never got the on foot stuff. No one ever approached me on foot. With me, it was always vehicles. But
I've got the falling on foot, but anyway.
What's that?
Yeah, they followed me around the mall and all sort of stuff.
Oh, have they?
Yeah, whatever.
I've gotten security guard stalking, but I know it's just demonic mind control. They're not. I mean, I may have gotten a few people, but I've never really been confronted. Never seen anybody follow. Because not only that, I mean, they know I'll publish it right away. I'll stick a video camera right in their face. I don't care where it is, and I'll have a talk with them. Hey, what's going on? So how much are you getting for this? But so far I've never actually
There's Rick showing up with a video crew on Orion Prime. Let's go talk to the Draco head.
I know. If I see a Draco, I'll walk right up to him. I know they're nasty dudes, but like I said, they tried to kill me 3 times, and in 2 of they set a cloaked super soldier on my roof, who died in a huge flash of green light, and everybody in my building in Woodland Hills was like, "Whoa, what's that?" And we all came outside, and I just intuited. I didn't see the body. I wish I would have gotten up on the roof with my video camera, but I knew that's what happened because there was a big pop, and everybody's like, "Oh, what's that?" Whatever that was, because I think there was also a big green flash. And in another attempt, the actor Paul Walker, who I believe was a serpent, and his friend Paul Walker of the Fast and Furious fame series, as you know, he died in a crash in his $500,000 Porsche with his friend on the way over to have a little Richard Bruce snack. Richard Bruce, see, because it says, "My enemies and my foes who came upon me to what? Not to kill me, to what? Eat up my flesh. They stumbled and fell, crashing into the only gas line in the area and having a pretty dramatic burning alive, as you can actually see in some video, which I have."
Wow, thank you. As far as the consuming of flesh, we know that there's a drug that rhymes with a popular Google browser.
Yes.
Yeah, so I think that's part of the collection process with some of the beans. Now, Rick, I've encountered benevolent, positive reptilians, so we can just put that out there. By the way, so I just want to say there are some very loving ones out there, and thank you for and they've helped intervene when I was on missions and helped save my life. So thank you. But I think the ones that Rick's talking about are these rogues from Thuban Draco. So these particular Draco came to Earth. They are some of the lower level minions of hell, and they've incarnated as into a hybrid bloodline family where they can incarnate into. And because the reptilian genetics is just more aggressive. It doesn't mean it's evil. It just means more aggression. The problem is when you get somebody from one of those lower echelons of hell incarnating in one of these bodies, it can be a problem. So, and that's why we have a super soldier. But anyway, I'm not activated right now, and I'm not going to go into that. But Gene, I'm sorry, Rick, I want to ask you about Gene Hackman. So recently he died under suspicious circumstances in his house with his wife. And I was wondering, do you have any intel what could have been going on with that? Gene Hackman, you following that story?
I not closely. No, it was a little weird. Like maybe he did or said something that he wasn't supposed to say. It just seemed kind of like a little bit of a dramatic end. But it wouldn't surprise me. I mean, because these I think a lot of these reptilians, frankly, if that's what he is, and or other beasts. So it's not just reptilians, as you know. We got all kinds of beasts that are shapeshifters that like to spend most of their time in human form. I think a lot of them do like to take these kind of high profile jobs like acting because it provides a cover for all kinds of security and other things in their life that make it easier for them to get around. But I don't have any inside information on what might have happened to Gene Hackman, but it's a shame. I really liked him in the original Superman.
Yeah, thank you. So there's a rumor he was keeping records of other Hollywood actors who have involved in some nefarious activities. I don't really want to get another strike on my channel. Just imagine how evil some people can be. But and there was another actor too. He played in the Universal Soldier movie. Does anybody know who was the other actor who just died? He also was keeping data on that. Does anybody remember? Universal Soldier actor died. The actor.
Universal Soldier. Van Damme. Did he?
No, it was another one. No, he was in Top Gun. I'm sorry, guys. I'm so sorry. He was in Top Gun with.
Yeah, I know who you're talking about. Val Kilmer.
Thank you very much, Val Kilmer. So, do you have any information on Val Kilmer?
I don't. Just because I live in Hollywood, I don't. They don't keep me updated on all their sex lives and everything.
You don't go to any of the Diddy, what is it, white parties you ever snuck to a white party, Rick?
Yeah, I was thinking if they did send me an invite, one of those golden invitations, hey, let's what the hell, let's just invite Rick Bruce over to one of our parties, even though he's been sent an angel that told him he was a priest. If you call yourself a priest, that's one thing, but I didn't, by the way. I did never call myself. But if you have an angel come that can cut off men's hands, heal any injury or disease, and make people, that tells you you're a priest, well, you kind of got to say, okay, I got to take the job. So you can't say no. But I was thinking if they did send me one of those invitations, I would show up just to talk with them. I'm not worried if they, make a sacrifice out of you. I like to tell my friends, if they're going to haul you in to behead you, whatever the case is, you're not really doing that well trying to run away from it. I'm not worried about it. Fine. I was even joking with my friends. Not that I'm suicidal, but where's the line? They're going to start beheading Christians. Where's the line to get in?
Yeah, thank you. So tell us about what else you've encountered through on your YouTube channel. Other interesting stories you would like to share.
Well, the Scarlet Witch was a major find. So you may be familiar with the Scarlet Witch from the Marvel movies. She can shoot the fireballs and everything. That is actually real. It's actually based on a real person that I'm not going to disclose who that is, but those powers are real. And she blew up some guy's car. She blew up some guy's water heater. But again, the person that I knew was her home altar, but her super soldier altar, which gets sent out on missions, goes and does some pretty gnarly stuff, including blow up a government SUV with my friends, the priest and Anna's lawyer, two cops, and a high-ranking royal palace aide from Thailand. My priest friend looks out the car and he sees a naked woman running as fast as the car through the forest. He says, okay, there's a naked woman running as fast as the car. Next thing you know, the car blows up. And by the way, the prince had given my Anna, the angel, 100 grand in cash, was on the seat, on its way to me, 100 grand US in cash, on its way to me. She blows up the car, burns the freaking money, and the two cops are hurt moderately bad. The priest, who was given a wooden cross by another angel, so it was 3 angels in total that I ran into. He was not hardly hurt at all, but the palace aide, who was kind of orchestrating all this to get us the money and the help and everything that we needed for the monastery, and brought the money and everything. He got hurt with 3rd-degree burns and a broken spine in 3 places, and he was totally wasted. And I had a conversation with my good friend, the angel, the Jewess that I was telling you about, who cut off the lady's hands. And I said, look, we're kind of responsible here for this guy, and I think maybe we should heal him. Kind of in hindsight, because it took a lot out of her. So she said yes, but when she did so, they were in the hospital room. When she exerted her powers, there were all these people there, and they were all knocked out by this big bright flash of light. And anyway, and then she created 2 other bodies, because the other angel informed her, the one that gave my friend the cross. He said, you can make other bodies and then transfer some of the injuries onto those bodies. Yeah. So she created 2 separate bodies that were actually replica copies of her own body, and she put on a lot of that injury, that massive, serious injury. But he was restored like nothing had happened. I mean, we saw him. I got a picture of him, okay, which I'll share with you privately, but I don't want to, because there's certain security issues, like I said. But this really happened, and so but here's the weird thing, okay? Here's the really weird thing. I knew the Scarlet Witch who did all this, and by the way, she had attacked us several times before. Also, once again, naked. And I think the reason she was naked, remember from the Terminator movies, when the Terminator goes through, he can't bring any clothes. That's why he beat that one guy up and took his clothes. That's the only thing I can guess, is that she's going through a portal or something. That's why she wasn't dressed, or maybe she just likes to run around naked. I don't know. But I knew her personally, and she was a very nice, get this, ardent, well-spoken and studied Christian, okay? Which I respected her opinion, and I still do. It's just that when all this happened, it was, pretty gnarly. And when it took, get this, I think it took 3 different people telling me this was that the person that I knew was, in fact, the fireball shooting Scarlet Witch. And before I finally investigated it enough, and then I interviewed her later and found out that indeed she could shoot these fireballs and everything. So, but that home altar didn't remember any of those attacks, and it wasn't her personality at all. The personality that attacked us and our friends, causing serious injury and blowing up the car and everything, she was like this cackling, like, and also mocking Christianity, like, you and your stupid religion, So it was a completely different person. But yeah, so when you see those movies like Multiverse of Madness, I don't know if you've seen that. That was a cool rendition of the Scarlet Witch. She's just this whole compound of power wielding superheroes are freaking out because she's attacking, and that's how much power she has. That's how massive and how deadly of a power that she has, and it's a real person, and that can really do it.
Wow. So what about the funds themselves? Did she like manifest it out of thin air?
Oh, you mean okay? So no. What happened was are you talking about the 100 grand that I said burned up?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Well, what happened was that happened in the same incident that I was telling you about, where Anna, the angel, cut off the hands of these guys that she had warned not to kill that little girl. So after that incident, she staggered out of that room, and she was blind, remember, and she found this waterfall, and she started like drinking water from a waterfall that was in one of these courtyards in the palace in Thailand. And a prince walks up, but she didn't know who it was. She thought it was a cook, and one thing led to another, and he got to know her, and he liked her so much that he wanted to help her. And so I emailed him later, and I said, look, we're having some trouble here at the monastery after she left to go to the palace there. There's been nothing but constant rain, and there's monks getting sick and everything. And I was wondering if you could help us out. Not only did he send all this stuff, trucks and work people and clothes and medicine and all this stuff, including, get this, 1,000 authorized King James Bibles in English delivered to a Buddhist monastery, and a $5,000 buffalo, an Armani dress for Anna, and 2 gemstones, probably worth at least 10 grand, huge gemstones, and the 100,000 in cash US. And he gave that all just from meeting her in that courtyard. And just to let you know, I know what he's talking about because I loved her too.
Wow, that's amazing. So, what's the status of her today? Has she transferred?
Okay. Yeah, she died in 2020. What happened was, and all of us knew, the master monk, this 90-plus-year-old amazing master Buddhist monk at this ancient monastery that he rebuilt from the time he was 12, and was told by God to wait for the princess that would come. And the princess was my Anna. And she showed up, and he put his golden robe on her, and they're not allowed to have women in the monastery. And so he stands up in front of all his monks, and he says, if you have a problem with this, with me bringing a woman into this monastery, you're free to go with no penalty whatsoever. But I'm telling you, this is a special case, and I'm letting her come in. And he brought her in. But yeah, it was that whole situation was incredible. But just to answer your question, so the money came from uh, higher ups in the Thai country. Thailand.
All right. Wow, that was an amazing story experience. Yeah. So I'm glad you got through that alive to share it today and let people know what happened to her.
Yeah, okay. So how she died was that so I told you that how she healed was she took the injuries onto herself from others, and then she would heal herself rapidly, and then it would be gone. And that's when I realized that injury actually is like information. You can transfer it from one person to another. But what happened was, towards the end of her life, all of us knew, the master monk and I knew, that she was on her way out. It was just, and she knew, like it was coming towards the end of her life. Like somehow we all knew. But what happened was, when the angel Azrael, who was actually imprisoned in her body because apparently he had some issue, whatever, he had misbehaved, and then she imprisoned him in her body. But when he left, he took his part of his powers out of her. Suddenly, all the injuries that she had healed during that time in Thailand came back on her suddenly, and she in October of 2020, and she totally died at that point. But by the way, she called me getting into the body of one of the people that she made a month later to tell me everything that was going on. I got to ask her why she died, but she said, I don't know. She couldn't give me an answer, but it was amazing to talk to her on the phone a month after she had passed on.
So what? She was like channeling through somebody.
What happened was, so she had created, 3 people and 3 bodies actually. One of the complete autonomous people that she had made died, and then 2 of them were still around. But what happened was, one of them was like a hybrid that would turn. She had the ability to go from physical to spiritual. But in any case, what my Anna, her original soul spirit body in the spirit realm, or spirit body, could do was after she had died, she could still get into one of those bodies that she made. Just asking Una. Una was the name of the shard. You might call it a shard of herself. So she made a shard of her own personality. So she was able to ask her, can I use your body for a second? And then she got into it, and then she got on the phone and gave me a call.
I don't know if you remember Horcruxes from the Harry Potter series. I was just kind of imagining that. So interesting. Yeah. Okay. Wow. So how about we go to let's go to questions from the audience members.
Sure.
Let me check here. Anything? So we have some comments, not too many questions. So in that case, I think we can go on to the next segment of this event. Today, we're going to talk about the upcoming Super Soldier Con. So I told Rick he has my permission to interview me. So Rick, go at it.
Okay, James. So fill me in here. Now, the impetus for us to talk was that I had that hit last night after watching some Super Soldier Talk movies where you were interviewing with Jimmy Payne and also Jessica, the Cryptid Huntress. And there was some synchronicity. I kept seeing and hearing the part about the time jump situation. So I emailed you and said, what do you think that I was thinking about writing a letter to the White House and saying, look, we may be stuck in a time loop. So, and you answered and then said, yeah, we're going to do a conference and everything coming up. So I want to hear what you had to say, like how maybe this time travel issue might fit into it, and what were the other subjects that you were going to get into at the conference.
Yeah, so the time loop was from August 1999 to August 2019, and what was going on is the Cabal knew they were going to lose. Every timeline they went on, they were going to lose. So they were going back in time to reset the timeline to see if they could try something different. And there are a few fallen realities where they did have a zombie apocalypse and this, but those realities are being trimmed from the timeline, according to Raw Cloud. Don't ask me; you have to ask him what he said. But so yeah, we are past that point. So now we're like into this brave new world, right? As was it Adolphus Huxley? Is that I remember his name from Brave New World, the writer, author, and then so now. And we also have Bill Brockbrader, who stated that through the looking glass technology, every time they went past 2012, they couldn't see what was going on. And that's because the timelines were all changing so much that it's like you can't even predict. Because I think right now, as the more photon energies come into our planet, that it's raising our consciousness to the point where we can decide what we want. And I think I had I think it was 2021. The egregor, hold on a second, guys. Think about all the consciousness of all the people on the planet. So if it's generally speaking, that we are more than 50% positive of all the thoughts and everything going on this planet, because we're more than 50% positive, is now swinging into the direction where the plans of the dark side are not able to materialize. So that's why we don't see the nuclear war going on, right, Jimmy Payne, and also zombie apocalypses and so on. But that doesn't mean that we may not see another one of those lockdowns. I think one psychic said they saw lockdowns in 2030 or 2031. I'll try to do another scare like that. But anyway, yes. Did I answer your question?
What I was going to ask was that now you were mentioning when we were talking before that you felt, because I mentioned that somebody that was smart that I was talking to said that there was a time he felt that we were stuck in a time loop, and you were saying that I didn't know when, I was thinking kind of after listening to Jimmy Payne, he was basically saying that the Eldridge was the beginning of his time jumping, the first time jumps that he was making. So, but you were saying that you felt that the time loop was focused around the 2019 era.
Yes, correct. Now, of course, we have CERN, and every time they turn that thing on, there are Mandela effects. But as far as like the Cabal is concerned, I think they're toast at this point. But yeah, it's just they haven't become self-aware of it. It'll take some time. It's roughly around 2028 is when the med beds come out. Someone was asking, and through some of the regression work I've done, looking in the future, 2030. Let's see here.
I'll take that.
20
I'll want.
by 2032. We'll start. We'll go to more of a 5. We'll be like 5D, and then by 2035, Tartaria will be coming back, and then we'll have another like 30 years after that or so to rebuild the planet, and then around the 2050s, the Federation will let us know that they're moving on. So at that point, SSP veterans will be, of course, we'll all be regenerated, repaired, and will help heal the planet, and then we'll be recruited to go off to war to take care of this Draco issue, which is going to take place around 2100, where it hasn't happened yet. There's two species of extraterrestrials, the Neglamuk, which were featured in the Independence Day movie, as well as the Kilitokert. And the Kilitokert currently right now are a regressive species, but they're going to flip. And they have technology that help us pocket the Draco into a pocket reality, and we can tuck them away and happily have a peace ever after, right? Happy, whatever it is, happily ever after. So, but anyway, there's a lot of work to do. So at that point, I think it's a great trajectory. Let's have at it. Okay. So next question that you have for me.
Okay. So so do you still think though that this time loop issue is something that it might be worthwhile, or what were your thoughts? Because I was sharing with you some of mine, just like a basic letter that I would send to President Trump, that we got to put together a team to defend the timeline from potential black hats. So who do you think might be behind some of these people that, or is it the reptilian, is it the Draco, or and who's working with them, or is there any organizations like CERN that you think are primarily responsible for wanting the chaos, wanting some kind of hellacious time loop where we're stuck repeating the same thing over and over again, and you're sure that you saw the monocle in the Monopoly Man and the cornucopia in the Fruit of the Loom symbol, but it's really just because we keep repeating the same time period over and over again with slight variations. So what do you think? Who do you think might be
that's a
behind it?
that's a very long question, because now you're asking who's involved. It's like, well, there's a lot going on involved. We have an organization called Time Corp. I don't have much intel on this particular organization, but I do know that they monitored the timelines for their own benefit. So hello, Time Corp. We also have the Montauk Project, which has access to our future timelines, and some of the people that participated in the Montauk Project have not been born yet. So they're in the actual Montauk Project is operating out of a pocket reality, so it's not even in our timeline. And there's other planetary corporations. There's alternate realities where these other corporations are viewing our reality as a testing grounds. Like, oh, well, we can just experiment over here and see what happens, right? So it's a very complex issue. But I know Jimmy Payne, he stated that CERN, they did time jump in the future and they went into CERN, and there was a bloody mess everywhere. So whatever comes through that portal that's going to be the end of CERN in the future. But anyway. Okay.
Yeah, I wonder if CERN is analogous to what the scripture says. They imagined a mischievous device which they are not able to perform. But I don't know if it's talking about CERN, but that thing is so huge and it's so like central in consciousness that it just sounds like it.
Okay, thank you. So let's go back to the conference now. What I will do is pull up a flyer that I put together. So this is not easy to do all these flyers and all this. My computer actually froze up a couple times when I did this, but thankfully
They don't want you to say it.
Well, it's especially if you start doing banners and all that. But I can anyway. Let me pull this one up, and so you guys can see what I see. And that way, we can see what's going on. Okay. Let me pull this. All this. There we go. And then we'll make this bigger with us here. I'll make this full screen. So yes, the conference is taking place in Orlando, Florida, October 8th to the 12th. So come on out, par ardura ad astra. So from here to the stars, we're going to be celebrating, also recognizing, healing as well for insiders that participate in milabs, MK Ultra, as well the secret space program. So we have 25 speakers, I think. I don't have to go through this one list. It kind of changes back and forth on a regular basis. But yeah, so we have Jean-Charles Moyen. If you remember the beginning intro of this video, he is a French super soldier. And he was stationed on the Solaris, if I'm not mistaken, unless if anybody want to correct me in the chat if I'm wrong on that. Michael Sedona served in a DoD skunk works. The guy's brilliant, and he has his own whistleblower truth on TV organization. So he's doing great work, and he'll be sharing some information about some of the contact of extraterrestrials that he's personally had. Johnny Enoch, he is a unacknowledged special access program researcher. He's going to be sharing some latest intel that's coming out with in Washington and so on. Disclosure. Chris O'Connor, he served on a space station over Jupiter. I forgot what it was, but then you got to come to the presentation and find out. I don't know why this is not. Oh, I see. I got to do it. I thought you guys could see me. I guess not. Oh well. We'll just have to do it this way. Okay, the next speaker we have, of course, is Rebecca Rose. And she was a super soldier on Mars, and I think she might have served in Darkfleet. I have to look into that one. Oksana Buchanan, she's a psychic that's based out of Southern Florida, but she also served in Nachtwaffen, and she has much recall. She can also do readings, and she'll be able to help you understand what some of your dreams are about if you think you might be involved in these projects. Laura Worley, hello. I just messaged her earlier today. She's an MK Ultra author. She'll be sharing about some of her own experiences. And MK Ultra is stands for Manufactured Killers Ultra. Well, I forgot what they used for. It was Tradecraft or something like that. Anyway, it's in my book. That's according to Jimmy Payne. And Dylan Monroe, he states that he created the Deep State Mapping Project. So you've probably seen his 17 maps out there. So we'll be looking forward to hearing from Dylan again. Michael Jaco. So shout out to Michael Jaco. He's doing amazing work on his disclosures. And did you just say that he's now allowed to be on YouTube, Rick? Yeah, I think you said that.
I don't remember. Sorry.
Yeah, he's on YouTube again because he was heavily banned. So.
Okay.
And by the way, everybody, please place Michael Jaco in his prayers. His son just died today. So much love to Michael. We'll be sending him positive energy for this time. Kimberly Lusana, she is a psychic based out of Phoenix, Arizona. So she served in Umbrella. She served in Nachtwaffen. She's been in cyborg bodies. So she'll be sharing some of her remote viewing abilities. She's a very talented remote viewer. Mary Beaver, she is a super soldier. She was in the U.S. Armed Forces, and she had a photographic memory. Her father was in the Majestic program, and actually served. I think it was Area 51. I have to go back to the notes on that one. Okay, let's go down here. We have Linda Paris of McAllister TV. She'll be sharing some information on something that's going on with children in nefarious ways. So, Julia is a very talented remote viewer. So she'll be sharing a presentation about what she's discovered about some of these underground bases and these programs. So I have to get back to you on that, what she's actually going to be sharing. But Ivan Teller, he is a channeler based out of Orlando, Florida, last I know. But he will be sharing some information, maybe channeling I guess we'll have to find out, right? You have to come to the conference to find out. Miles Johnston is he operates the Basis series. So that's the United Kingdom branch of this secret space program disclosure group. So he's doing amazing work in the UK. He's been doing this much longer than I have. And I just want to say shout out to Miles. Thank you for your service to humanity. Angie Dollar and Christy, both were psionic super soldiers. They served in Nachtwaffen and other organizations, but I know we actually had some shared memories together with George Bush Sr. I write about it in my book. But okay, and last we have Yana Prakash. So I know Yana by his real name, Marcus. Well, I guess that's his spiritual name, so that's why. So he does. He can channel the Federation, and he will be channeling messages to provide healing, soul healing, for all the trauma that we've been through. So Lucas Crichton, he served in Solar Warden. He's a super soldier and has shared. He's been on my show a couple of times, so he's done amazing work. So thank you, Lucas. Kusal Uch, he channels AI. You can either like it or hate it. All I can tell you is it's an interesting source of information to hear what he has to say, but take what you want from that. He's also a super soldier, and he has served in Solar Warden on the same ship as I have. Ashton Neusler, he is a Nachtwaffen asset, and he has basically almost full recall. So I would like to get him to the event. The problem is he's in Canada, and so we need some donations. We're crowdsource funded. We need people to either buy VIP tickets or donate money when you go through the checkouts. That will help ensure that Ashton can get there, and that we can help make sure we can pay his way and his expenses. So we also have Colin O'Brien. Colin is served on the Alpha Squad, and he is also a great remote viewer and a super soldier. He will be sharing some of his remote viewings about what he sees in the future. You can be really interesting to hear what he has to say. Thomas Alvin, he is a military intelligence officer in Nachtwaffen, and he has full recall. But so you'll be able to hear some of his perspectives. So, he was placed into bodies that were the opposite gender, and it's actually quite interesting to hear how. Anyway, okay. So anyway, enough of that one. So so the website is Super Soldier Con. We have 3 different ticket prices. So we've got general admission. There's also, we have a VIP option where you get your one dinner, so you can join us for the ball on Saturday. And then if you don't mind, you can get all 11 meals. That one is the VIP Gold. So with VIP, you get front rows seating, so you'll be up there close to all the speakers. And you'll also, everybody will have access to the Heroes of Disclosure Memorial that takes place on Sunday. We're going to honor deceased UFO or secret space program veterans that are no longer with us. So we'll also have some live music. So I'm bringing a singer in for that. And so we have a vendor room. If you want to be a vendor, send me a message. There's room still. We also are looking for volunteers. Now we have our core team already, so there's different groups, security, or you can help us out with marketing or to do flyering. We need help with flyering locally to Florida. We need help with you could do help me out with the sponsorships and all that. So send me a message. There's actually a form where you can fill out. If you go to Super Soldier Con, click on either the volunteer or sponsorship form and fill that out, and we'll get back to you. So, I think that pretty much covers it. We do have a room block, so it's very limited, and it's the rooms are $110 a night. The last I looked, anyway, I was guaranteed a price, but you can go ahead and get those booked right away before that fills up, because that's probably going to be gone soon. So, Rick, any other questions you have for me?
That looks like a blast. I would say if you're on the fence, it's gonna be quite a show. I mean, look at all those. I mean, how can it be more interesting? All those people and all those stories. It's like a once in a lifetime event.
Absolutely. Well, there's been events out there that have had secret space program disclosure, but it hasn't been. Well, I know Tyler, he did one year, the secret space program conference, but then he stopped doing it. So that's why we're doing it. Super Soul. I'm going to sponsor this. My nonprofit, Healing Soul Survivors, is sponsoring this event to make sure that the message of SSP disclosure can get out there, and that you can, if you've been through these projects or you think you've been through these projects, you can come and get healing. Even if you don't think you've been through these projects, you can come and have a great time. We're going to be right across the street from Universal, so some of us may stay an extra day. We'll see, weather permitting. They do have the Halloween Horror Night things in the evening. If you into that, some people said they weren't. Anyway, we have different parties. There's going to be dance parties every evening. The 3 nights, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday night. And then we're going to have a great time. You'll be able to meet a lot of amazing people, vendors, speakers, and And again, all the ticket sales are donation based, so it's all tax deductible for healing and supports Healing Soul Survivors, our 501c3 organization. Thank you all. Okay, let's go. We've got maybe a few more minutes, and then I'm going to head on out because I've got some other stuff to do tonight. But any other questions? Someone's asking. Let's see here. I don't know, Nancy. Thank you. Don't know. Let's see. We have CERN is always freaking me out. Goodness. Okay. Thank you all. The real threat are hybrids that clone themselves and keep coming back. Have you ever heard of anything like that?
It sounds about right.
Yeah. The gift that keeps giving. Absolutely.
Yeah, exactly.
Let's see here. Someone says, Jimmy says, I don't want my memories back. My strange childhood is best left in the path to death. So that's certainly an option once the med beds come out, you can get your memories wiped if that's what you want. But I personally think, how are you supposed to heal it if you don't recognize it? But then again, everybody's on a different path. So Jimmy, best of luck to you on that. Okay. Let's see here. Any other questions? Rick's YouTube channel, he already said that. I'll put that in the description as soon as we get off this video. And if I don't, you can always message me. Make sure I do. I'm sure somebody out there will remind me. Teresa, thank you. Great to see you both live tonight. How many celebrities lose a child? Yeah, thank you, Patty, for that. It's a good question. Great. Okay. Any other final comments, Rick?
No, just I'd say thinking about going to that conference, it just sounds like you might never hear anything like that again, because also sometimes the time that these people have to share that stuff is limited.
Yeah, I've seen people come onto the scene. Usually last maybe about 2 years. Some last maybe 8.
Yep.
I don't know.
Gotta catch it while you can. Sometimes all that remains of somebody is the video. I've seen, like, for instance, Peggy Kane. No one's heard of her after 1995, and but she had the most awesome stuff. The reverse speech of the other side. She was reverse speeching reptilians on the other side, and that was phenomenal.
Yeah,
but she's gone.
Yeah, I know. I'm about to do a show with Jimmy Payne about the Jeeper Creepers. So
he told me about that. Yeah.
So he said
that's going to be a good one.
If you reverse
that's going to be a good
show, you reverse speech that song, you'll hear a message. I'm not telling you to do it. I'm not a little nervous about doing it, but we'll find out soon. So there is definitely something to that EVP reverse speech phenomenon for sure.
Yep.
I believe.
Yeah, it's hard. It's hard to do. It takes a lot of patience, but you can get some pretty incredible results. And some people, you don't hear anything. Like, I've reversed Trump, and there's nothing, like almost nothing, like just like 1 or 2 words. But there's some people like me, you reverse speech me, and all like right away, all of a sudden, all kinds of weird stuff comes out. So, and David Icke, if you want to reverse speech somebody that you'll hear a lot of stuff out of, reverse him. He's got lots to say in reverse.
Thank you.
But there's some actors like who was it? The guy who was in Fight Club, the star of Fight Club. He was like the sexy, like his name escapes me for the second. But anyway, there's all kinds of movie stars that, like for instance, Keanu
Brad
Reeves.
Pitt.
I mean,
Brad
yeah,
Pitt.
I'm sorry, Brad Pitt. Yeah, I don't know why. I've nothing comes out on him. No shape shifting, no reverse speech, nothing. But if you Keanu Reeves or Harrison Ford, oh man, like big old beast features, man. Like Harrison Ford, I got one where the mouth was this big in one of the newer movies. Like he was an older person playing one of the newer Star Wars, and it's like huge, but it's demonic distortion showing the spirit in him. I should have given you that picture beforehand. Give you a whole slew of these pictures. It's fascinating stuff. So, but and it's a mystery why it shows up on some people and why it doesn't on others. And the
Yeah.
reverse speech thing.
I did I reverse speech. It was I part of the Montauk project, and in reverse it says that's not real. You're not supposed to talk about it. So
Oh,
what do you think
oh,
that's about, Rick?
yep, yep, yep.
It's
That's
subconscious
I've
programming.
said some weird stuff, man. I said some weird stuff myself, like because I like to draw anime girls, and it's just one of my hobbies. But I said in reverse speech something like I like naked girls or something like that. Like draw like it sounded like it was something I knew I shouldn't be doing, drawing naked girls, because I draw them with the lycra outfits, so it's really tight fitting. So I don't know, maybe I was like thinking that I'm being too much of a perv here, but oh well. We all got our
All right.
skeletons.
Great, thank you. I think this is a good point to stop. So everybody go to Healing
Don't
Soul
want to go any
Survivors.
further on that one.
It'll take you to Give Butter. You can donate to our cause, to Healing Soul Survivors. You can also go to supersoldiercon.com, purchase a ticket. So we hope you would buy tickets now rather than waiting until like a month prior. I know a lot of people do that, but it would help us out with our planning process. But either way, we're prepared for you to come. So you can also go to supersoldiertalk.com and subscribe over there. I've got an email list that'll help you get updates. And I feel like there's probably a few more websites. Oh yeah, Neological Tech. You can purchase a copy of my book. It's over here. And you get a meditation cube to help you relax. So check out some of the meditations that I've done over there. And yeah, we'll call it a day. Thank you, Rick, and thank you, audience members, for joining us.
Thank you for having me on.
Great. We'll see you all later. And stay tuned for this message from Lifewave. Thank you all. Welcome back, everyone. Today we're diving into something really exciting, the Lifewave X39 patch. To help us understand how this works, we have Lifewave brand partner Arthur Gross here. Thanks for joining us, Arthur.
Thanks for having me, James. I'm excited to talk about this revolutionary technology.
So, I've been hearing a lot about this X39 patch. Can you explain a little bit more on how it works?
Absolutely. The X39 patch is groundbreaking because it uses phototherapy, specifically photobiomodulation, to activate your body's natural GHK copper peptide levels. This, in turn, reactivates your stem cells, which helps reset over 4,000 genes to how they worked when you were younger. Think back to your 20s.
Wow, all that just from wearing an X39 patch.
Exactly. The patch uses a patented, non-invasive nanocrystal technology that reflects specific wavelengths of light from your body's infrared light. When it touches your skin, it stimulates biochemical changes that trigger the production of peptides and amino acids. This increases mitochondrial energy, boosts healthy stem cell activity, and helps with overall cellular repair.
Wow, that sounds incredible. But a lot of people might be wondering how safe they are.
The X39 patch is completely safe. It's been clinically proven and is recognized by the FDA as a general wellness product. Plus, it's non-transdermal and non-invasive, meaning nothing actually enters your body, and there are no chemicals involved.
Wow, so we have no topical creams, injections, or anything like that.
Exactly. It's as easy as wearing a small patch, and it's also waterproof and showerproof, so you can wear it throughout the day without worry.
Wow, that's amazing. Now, I've read a lot about various expensive stem cell therapies. How would the X39 compare to some of these other type of options?
Traditional stem cell therapies can cost thousands of dollars, but the X39 patch offers a much more affordable solution. It's designed to work naturally with your body and is available at a fraction of the cost while still being 96% effective on activating your body's stem cells.
I can see why so many people are excited about this. So, if someone is interested in trying the X39 patch, what can they expect from wearing the patch?
Most people notice an increase in energy, faster recovery from physical activities, and even improvements in overall health and wellness. It really helps to revitalize your body by supporting stem cell production and resetting your genes.
Wow, that sounds amazing. Where can people learn more and try the X39 patch?
If they click the link below the description, it'll take you to James Rink's Lifewave website, which helps you get started. It's such an easy and effective way to tap into your body's natural healing abilities. If you have any questions, please send us an email at liveyounger.jmr@gmail.com.
Wow, thank you, author, for shedding light on this amazing technology. The X39 patch sounds like a must try for anyone looking to feel more youthful and energized.
My pleasure, James. It's definitely worth exploring.
Please consider supporting Super Soldier Talk by purchasing your own Neo Meditation device. Your Neo Meditation device will help you reduce stress, integrate trauma, enhance intuition, enhance clairvoyance, and enhance creativity. Get yours now at www.neologicaltech.com.